Hey everybody, what is up? It is Robbie. Before I start this video off, I just wanted to give a little, I guess I just wanted to let y'all know that there's going to be a reduction in the racing content featuring my car. And you might be asking yourself, or you might be asking me, why, Robbie, why? Those are my favorite videos, blah, blah, blah. I love seeing races or all that kind of shit. But anyway, I got a reckless driving ticket like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and so I'm just trying to keep it cool. Some shit went down 2 or 3 weeks ago at the local meet, and that's kind of why I got my ticket. I wasn't really doing anything stupid, but I got it anyway. But there's going to be a cut down in content, one, because I got the ticket and I need to deal with that. I don't want to get another ticket on top of that because that's just stupid. And two, because I don't really know where the new meets are, so I kind of gotta wait it out and talk to some people and figure out where it is before I can like schedule regular races and all that kind of shit. But I'm not getting rid of the races completely. I'm just not going to be racing my own car. I'm going to be in other people's cars. So just felt like I would let y'all know. But anyway, why are we here today? Why am I with this car? Why do I have this car? Why did I buy this car? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Why did I buy this car? Or why did I pick this car? What about this car made me decide that this is what I want to be driving? Well, I'm going to give y'all 3 reasons as to why I chose this car. Why did I pick this car? What are the immediate things that I noticed about this car that I fell in love with, that I wanted to be with for years, or I don't know. It's basically like I'll be describing this as a person. Why am I with my girlfriend? You know, that kind of thing. But instead it'll be, why am I with my car? So before I go into this, it's not going to be about price or anything like that. Like, I didn't get it at a steal, and that's why I love it. It's going to be like real deep shit, you know? Like, if you're a real car person, you should kind of feel the same way about your own car. So let's get into it. So 3 things. I'm going to start with my favorite thing, and then I'm going to work my way down. Why I just broke it into 3 things because I've honestly been out here for 2.5 hours, and my battery's at 10%. So I'm just kind of gonna run through 3 of the biggest things and standouts for myself. So number 1, which is my favorite thing about this car, which is why I fell in love with it, is the way it looks. Now, I know a lot of people will say that the Gen 2s look gross compared to the Gen 1s, the smiley face is ugly, all that kind of shit, but honestly, I think it looks great. I think Mazda did a fantastic job with this Gen 2 refresh, or whatever you want to call it. But it looks aggressive. You've got lines, you've got curves, you've got a fucking hood scoop. Like, it's a weird mix of muscle and muscle and bulges. I don't know how else you would describe it. It's curvy and angular at the same time. I think the body looks great. You've got this one line that goes all the way down the doors to the hatch. You have these strong lines on the hood that run parallel to the hood scoop on both sides. Oh, I have a dent. Fuck. Anyway, it just looks so good, and I think one of my favorite touches that Mazda put on these cars, especially it's mostly with the tech pack, is these headlights. I adore these headlights. They look like eyes to me, and I think it just fits the whole front end because you have the smiley face and you have the headlights that look like little eyes, and it just makes it look like a face. And that adds some personality. I don't know, it's just a good mix of cute and muscular. And to quote Motor Trend, this is the hot hatch muscle car. I don't know. It's just muscular and cute and fucking adorable at the same time. Now, let's kind of go back to how I mentioned personality, and this is going to be my number 2 thing. I love that this car has its own personality, and whether or not I have created that personality through my modifications or just my time with it, it's something I enjoy. You know, the exhaust burbles and pops, but it's random, so it's almost like it's a person, because people are kind of random and all that kind of shit. It gets check engine lights at random. It torque steers, which is kind of like a personality trait. Like, if you're not paying attention, it'll rip the wheel out of your hands. I don't know, it's almost like it's its own being. It has its own quirks and features. Doug DeMuro. that I just love. Like, you can't put your finger on it. It's hard to describe, but I know for the most part, all car enthusiasts feel the same way. They feel like their car is not just an object, it is its own thing. It has its own personality. As I've said multiple times before, it's got its own personality that I love. Honestly, when I first heard that like torque steer was a thing, I was like, that's badass. Like, my car has a mind of its own. If I'm not paying attention, it'll run me off the road. Like, it is not compliant. It is its own thing. And that's something I love. And it's just something I can't really put my finger on or describe, besides saying it has a mind of its own. And I kind of love that. Number 3, the final thing, why I love this car, why did I buy this car? And that is in the intangible value of being a sleeper. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically a sleeper is a really powerful car. Oh, wow. A really powerful car that nobody knows is powerful. Not a lot of people know. It's just kind of an unknown. Like, you may have seen it or heard from it, but you're not really sure if it's quick or if it's special or what have you. But anyway, this car is a real sleeper. Like, I know a lot of people in the forums or in the speed community will say that it doesn't really look like a sleeper because of the hood scoop, but you would be surprised how many people I pass in like Focus STs or WRXs or STIs that have no clue what I am. Like, you have no idea how hard I look for races sometimes, and nobody wants to race because everybody just thinks it's loud, and that's it. Like, it's just a loud regular Mazda 3, but it's not. It's fast as fuck. Humble brag. But it's a sleeper. Nobody expects it. Nobody knows what it is. I'll tell y'all a story. A while ago, like a few months ago, I went to a small little meet for like a few races. And when I got there, I think it was an STI on E85 with headers and an external wastegate, a new S550 Mustang with I think a tune and a catback, and another new gen STI with full bolt-ons. And like, I don't even think they looked at me twice. Like, I parked and that was it. Well, anyway, we started to do the runs and I beat everybody. Beat the 85 STI, beat the S550. It was actually kind of funny. We pulled over and I was talking with the S550 owner and he was like, hey, did you race the STI on the 85? And I was like, yeah, I did. And he was like, oh, how did you do? Or I was like, oh, did you race him? And he was like, yeah, I raced him. And I was like, oh, how did you do? And he's like, oh, he pulled on me about a car or two. And I was like, oh, that's funny because I pulled the STI by about a car or two. And he's like, no shit. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I didn't realize these things were that quick. And I was like, they're fucking quick. And then, you know, after that, they all started to look at my car and were like, oh, they're pretty quick. Like, I didn't know they were this quick. Like, I've never really seen any. And I don't know, I just kind of enjoy the fact that nobody expects it. Nobody knows. It's just a little gem inside the hot hatch world that not a lot of people know about. And honestly, if you want one, Gen 1s are a super good deal right now, and I jump on those pretty quick. They have a few issues, but once you work them out, God tier cars. But basically, guys, those are the 3 things that I love about my Speed 3, and basically those are the reasons why I bought it. I think it looks amazing, like my girlfriend. It has an amazing personality, like my girlfriend, and it is a sleeper. And those are just kind of some intangible things that I love about this car. And those are the reasons why I bought this car, honestly. Like, if you take price and like practicality and all that kind of shit off the table, those are the 3 reasons as to why I bought this car. I fucking love this car. I hope that I can drive this car forever, honestly. Like, I have big plans for it. I plan on keeping it around as long as possible. And anyway, guys, that was kind of a deep look into how I feel about my car. Hopefully y'all can hear over this fucking wind bullshit. But anyway, that's it. Hopefully I'll post some new content soon. I appreciate all the likes and support, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope that you go and you look at your own car in the driveway and you're like, fuck, I love that thing. Not for the price, not for the power, but because I just fucking love it. Alright, bye guys.